Welcome to Luxury in Black, where Black creativity meets luxury, culture, and conversation. I'm your host, Shari Tisdale, and each week we'll spotlight the boldest voices in fashion, design, and entrepreneurship. From local legends to global trailblazers, this is more than a podcast. It's a movement. It's about elevating Black excellence, one story at a time. Join us each Thursday at 12 p.m. on podbean.com and all streaming platforms. Let's get into it. Welcome to Luxury in Black. I'm your host, Shari Tisdale. Thank you for joining in today. It's April the 24th. We're so excited. We have a dynamic show for you today. We're excited to have with us the glamorous Chiku Williams, who is an extraordinary creative director and stylist, who's going to be giving us all the tea on how to have a glammed over lifestyle. So she'll be joining us shortly, but we want to first say thank you. If this is your first time tuning in to Luxury in Black, we appreciate you sitting with us today. And if you're not familiar, we are a dedicated platform designed to amplify the voices and celebrate Black designers and creators and promote Black excellence in our everyday lives. Our goal is to just keep the continuous conversation going on what living in Black luxury, what that looks like. Well, as many of you know, I'm a strong believer in knowing where you come from in order to know where you're going. And one of our segments here at Luxury in Black is In Review, where we feature each week prominent, outstanding Black creators who we stand on the shoulders of, which enabled us to pursue and enjoy our careers in the fashion industry. And this week we are saluting Jay Jackson. And he was the first American and the first Black person to work as a couture for a fashion atelier in Paris. He worked for the fashion houses of Yves Saint Laurent, Christian Dior, Jean-Louis Shear, just to name a few. And there he became a creative director at the house of Jean-Louis Shear at the age of 24 and released his first haute couture collection as head designer. This was in the 1970s, which was prolific. You know, we were just not even really on the scene at that time. And as you can hear, even in the 1970s, he was the first to step out abroad over in Paris. He returned back to the United States in the early 1980s, continuing his career. He came back and branded his own label, as well as working as head designer with Pierre Cardin. And he began to also move on to Los Angeles, where he was designing clothing for films, television, and various performers such as Sammy Davis Jr., Thelma Houston, just to name a few. But he was absolutely a trailblazer, known for his strong, bold aesthetics and draping in the fashion industry. And so we want to salute and hats off to the incomparable Jay Jackson. Well, as we continue on, I'd like to also always highlight what's going on in the fashion industry and who's turning heads, and particularly with our Black creators, because that's one of the things that we pride ourselves on is talking about what we're doing. And as you know, I've mentioned it a few times, but it is approaching rapidly, the Met Gala. We're super excited about that 2025 this year, which will be taking place in May. The theme this year is Superfine, Tailoring Black Style, and really excited about that because it is putting the spotlight on Black dandyism, which is the artistry of Black tailoring, which was created by Andrew Bolton, and guest curator is Monica Miller. This exhibition will explore the Black identity, class, and gender expressed through fashion. And this year's notable chairs will include Coleman Domingo, A$AP Rocky, and Pharrell Williams. LeBron James will also serve as honorary chair. And if you're a Vogue fan and picking up the latest May issue, A$AP Rocky is on the cover, which is absolutely fire. He is slaying as always. But it also will depict, and there are many celebrities included throughout the whole layout on dandyism and its importance and prominence and effect in the fashion industry. So it is a must issue, that one that you will actually want to go and pick up and keep. We are so excited about this Met Gala and it really acknowledging the importance and prominence of the Black's influence, particularly in Black style with Superfine. Also, who will be inspired and also having their own Met Gala experience is called Superfine at the Gantt. This is going to take place in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it is a Met Gala inspired event called Superfine at the Gantt, set for May the 2nd. Professor Perrine DeShield is organizing and the curator of the event. Again, this event is going to celebrate Black dandyism. They will have a whole red carpet and tailored dress code for the event, and they will be honoring the legacy of fashion icon Andre Leon Talley, which is, we give a big salute to, and certainly a trailblazer that we should all continue to note. Also this year, Coachella, which has been going on, many independent Black designers have been really held and giving a lot of press and prominence, seeing a lot of celebrities rocking their designs, and you're just seeing a surge, which is, I'm really excited to see that happening in the industry. And so if you've been a follower of Coachella, go back and take a look. You will take note. There are many Black designers, some you may know of and others you may not, but the independent Black designers are certainly taking a surge, and we salute that. And for those sneaker lovers, Grace Will Bonner's influence in fashion in the footwear game. She is a London-based designer. Grace Will Bonner continues to impact our global fashion influence with her culturally rich designs. She's doing a collaboration with Adidas Originals, which will revitalize the iconic Samba sneaker. So take a look and stay tuned to that. And if you're into sneakers, make a note. This is certainly one you're going to want to have. And we're also not only in the retail fashion space, Black designers are really making a splash in the fashion aesthetics with home decor and decorating. Our interior designers are making moves, and we are excited to applaud them as well. Designers Victor Gilmod and Chuck Collins and Sade Mims are extending their brand identities in the home decor by creating pieces that reflect their unique fashion sensibility as well as cultural narratives. So take note of those names, and when you're in the looking to refresh and spring forward and looking for some really cool new designs for your home, take note of those names: Victor Gilmod, Chuck Collins, and Sade Mims. And again, I want to do a big salute. You know, we talked a lot about the DEI and its impact, what's happening in the industry, particularly with Black creators, but want to salute one. McDonald's continues to support and has been in that space supporting Black creators and fashion designers for quite some time with various programs. Their latest one is introducing the Black Positivity Golden Change of Fashion initiative, which is providing a mentorship for resources and financial support for emerging Black fashion designers. So again, hats off to McDonald's for continuing your support and initiatives on the importance and how to support and elevate Black creators. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and we're going to have with us the phenomenal Chiku Williams, creator and celebrity stylist. You don't want to miss it. Stay put.
At Rubicon, we believe every meal should be an experience. Nestled in the heart of North Tulsa, we bring you bold flavors, locally sourced ingredients, and a dining atmosphere like no other.
From our signature dishes to expert crafted cocktails, every bite tells a story, perfect for any occasion. Live music on Thursdays with house band Upscale Smoke. Rubicon is not just another smokehouse, it's a whole vibe. Join us at Rubicon, where taste meets tradition. Rubicon Restaurant, the Upscale Smoke experience. You doing good?
Yes, ma'am. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. And I know you stay busy all the time.
Yes, ma'am.
Because you travel. Are you currently traveling or are you in town?
I'm in town. Actually,
Okay.
yes, I'm in town.
Well, I know you keep it rocking. I follow you, so I'm always amazed at all the things that you are doing because, as noted, I want everyone to know I've been saying for years, she is truly our, not just local, because she travels with her gifts all around the United States, but she is certainly noted as our celebrity stylist here in the Midwest. And so you keep everybody glammed up and on point.
Yes, ma'am, I do. I try my best.
Well, and you do that well, and you do that well. Well, Shakira, let's chat a little bit because your journey, you've been in the industry doing hair and makeup for many years. Tell us how you started Glam by Shaku, how that got originated.
Well, Glam by Chiku, I've been a licensed cosmetologist for about 27 years now. Makeup came along with it, but I've been a hairstylist for that long. It was a childhood dream of mine. I loved doing hair. When I was a kid, I started out doing my own and then my mother's and then family members and friends. And so my mom just encouraged me to just go to school. That was something that I wanted to do. So that's what I ended up doing. Right when I graduated high school, I went straight to cosmetology school and got my license.
That is awesome. And then was it an easy transition? Because you're certainly fantastic with hair. And I know you specialize particularly in custom wigs and extensions. But you're really noted for your makeup. How did you begin to delve more into both or how did you bridge them together?
Well, basically, just doing hair as a hairstylist, you always try to make ways to make more income. So anytime I had a customer that was getting married or my prom girlies, I started offering makeup service. Even though back then, 20 something years ago, we really wasn't doing a whole lot of makeup per se, and like we do now. But I started providing that makeup service so I can, have an extra income and have an extra service on my list of things that I could do or provide for my customers. So that's how it really got started. doing makeup. And then maybe back in 2007, when I started doing a hair magazine, is when I really started diving into makeup more because I wanted to present, nice makeup looks along with my hairstyles. So when I started the magazine, I actually started just doing on my regular customers. I would tell them, hey, bring in a little cute outfit so I can take a picture of you after I do your hair. So I started doing makeup at that time, back in 2007. And it just kind of elevated from there, doing makeup. So I'm really a hairstylist, but that was just an added service that I could provide.
That is awesome. And how long did you do your magazine? Because I think we both kind of were in that space along the same time.
Yes, we were. I want to say, I think I gave it maybe a good 5 to 7 year run doing
Okay.
it. I kind of quit for a little while because life transitions, and then I had to start it back up because it was just on my heart to start back up. So I think I did it like maybe 5 years, and then I quit, then came back along for about another 2 years, and then I quit again. I just had to, life happens. And so I just kind of like had to put it on the shelf. Expo Styles has always been something that was a tool to share my craft, but also encourage other people to follow their dreams and whatever God has gifted them to do on this earth. So it was actually a tool for me to inspire and to encourage other people as well with the gift that God gave me of hair and makeup.
And you have transitioned because you still do that. And you do have just tremendous gifts and talents because I know you've expanded because definitely understand and know the ups and downs of when you have a publication and what that takes. And certainly during that time, you and I both were in a space where print was actually still a thing and now it's not. And, evolved and it's now everything is digital. But now you're also really noted as a branding stylist. And so how do you approach crafting your visual identity when you're working with someone?
Really, for the branding part of my business, so Glam by Shaku is, the entity of the hair and makeup services that I provide. But when I started the magazine as well, I was able to tap into providing that service for my peers, which is in the hair industry. So stylists would book me to promote their salons. So then I would actually book the photo shoots with a photographer and come up with the themes and the looks for their promotions, for their salons. So I would come in as the makeup artist as well, but I was promoting other salons and stylists for their businesses. So that was like the approach that I took on when I did the magazine project, but I also had a calendar project that I did as well. And so that's how it all started with the branding of other people's businesses. To elevate that even more, I started doing branding photo shoots for music artists. So I started doing the local music artists' hair and makeup, put together their look and their style for the photo shoots and start branding those customers as well. And then I branched into, other business owners. So that's just how it all kind of started and elevated to where I am today with just doing business branding for businesses.
And I love that. I love that. But let's delve a little deeper in that, particularly for those who are aspiring to branch into that industry, because I love how you continue to evolve and recognizing where certain needs were, but most importantly, through your talents where you were willing to connect with others and help promote others in the same space, and so elevating them along with you being elevated at the same time. But really how how did you really begin to shift and create that space? Because we're in an area where it may not seem that it's as fruitful as in some of the other major markets, because I know you travel and you do work in Atlanta and various cities. How would you compare, or not compare, because I know this is home, I don't want to say compare, but what would you say in being in this space, how you were able to navigate and create the niche that you have here, and then also take it in and expand in other areas?
I would say, far as me, like as an entrepreneur, you have to find your own niche in what you do, but then also help others along the way. So how I was able to just start doing that throughout the years is sharing my craft at the beauty, like the hair shows. I used to actually promote at the hair shows. So I would do display of my hairstyles or actually my custom wigs at the hair shows. So that's how people recognize who I was as a stylist, but then also recognize me as a promoter as well. So that's how I introduced the magazine at that time to the hair industry here locally, and then Oklahoma City. And then I actually went to Dallas as well to a hair show to present expo styles there. The how can I say, the other things that I do to incorporate what I do and to share with others is like I go to the beauty colleges and actually do makeup demonstrations to
Okay.
encourage these students. These are other ways that you can make an income for yourself, is to really find what you're good at, because the beauty industry is very wide and you can do so many things in the beauty industry to make income for yourself. Don't limit yourself. I always tell them, don't limit yourself to just one or two things like eyelash tech, which that's wonderful if that's all you want to do. But in the beauty industry, when you get a cosmetology license, it broadens your horizon where you can actually step out and go and travel and do hair and makeup for celebrity stylists and for celebrities and stuff.
And how do you, because you have a signature and you're known and people know your work, but how would you define your signature style?
Um, I would say my signature style as a stylist or as a brand, I have my own personal look that people know. If Shiku's stepping out in some leopard, that's kind of like my style. I say my style can be a little edgy but classy at the same time.
Right. You're always chic with it. You're always right on point. Yeah.
I just try. I feel comfortable in my own skin, but then at the same time, I can just throw something together and I'll be like, okay, that's cute. But I try to mix it up. I do like colors, but I do like black, but I do like leopard. So that's my personal fashion style. But yeah, people mainly know me for my leopard. Like I can have a purse that got leopard in it or some shoes. Something got to have some leopard somewhere. So that's how they know me, by my signature style on that part.
Well, we're kindred spirits right there, because I love leopard. I love a good sheet of something. Yeah, just put it in there. I love that. And with your clients, because you also have you have a very distinct signature style for yourself personally, but you also are known for work. And how would you define your signature style on how you blend with your clients?
I would say my signature style for my clientele is more if I'm doing like a photo shoot, most of my clients is going to get that Hollywood glam look. I love a pretty cut crease for the eye makeup. That's one of my signatures, is a cut crease style. I do have a certain blend that I do with the colors that is just kind of like, oh yeah, I know Shaku did that. That's that cut crease she likes. I do basic makeup too, But the cut crease is really my thing, far as that makeup look. Like, and then like if my customers have, like I love the big hair. I do like that big curly hair look, and that's that Hollywood style. So most of my customers, normally when I get done with them, they be like, "Oh yeah, I look like Hollywood."
Oh, and I love that. Now, and you are, because your partner, that you do the glam, because I know you do glam photo shoots as well as your whole branding. One of my very favorites, he is phenomenal, William Edwards, Finally Focus, and you all make a really, really dynamic team. How did that come together?
We've been working together for the last 7 years. And how that came about was I got a phone call from one of the local music artists, Bo Diddley.
Okay.
She has a tea
Yes, my
spot
tea.
in
Yes.
Tulsa. And she called me and she was like, "Hey, I got a photo shoot that William want a makeup artist." And she was transitioning from doing makeup to doing something else for herself. And so that's how we really got linked up, is through Bo. And he ended up hitting me up and said, "Hey, can you do makeup for this model that I have? I'm doing a session with her." So actually I ended up working with another photographer at that time because he was collaborating with other photographers. And so the first photo shoot I did for a model, which was a sponsorship program that he had going on, I did makeup for her. And then it just kind of rolled into me starting working with him. He came in and started doing the photography for models. And it was something that he created that he had already been doing. And it's
Okay.
just a sponsorship model. Well, it's sponsorship, photo shoot. It was pretty much open for anyone, but I gravitate more to models, or per se inspiring models, to work with those type of people. And so that's just how it started. So about 7 years ago, when we took a small break for about a year, then we came back together and we was like, okay, we're steadily evolving with that. We will bring in fashion stylists, and then other photographers may come in so he can kind of mentor them under him with photography work. And then I would bring in, a few makeup artists and stylists from the Strut fashion show. So everything kind of ties in for me, is because when I do mentorship for the Strut fashion show with cosmetology students, I also bring them into my regular business, which is the sponsorship program, and work with them there. And if they can graduate from there, then they can work in my regular business, being hired on as an assistant for weddings. So that's just kind of something that I've been doing for a few years now.
That is, I love everything about that, because William was the latter part of years with Exo Style, with the magazine I did. He was my creative fashion director, and he's
Mhm.
absolutely amazing. But what I love about what you're both doing, because sometimes particularly in the Midwest, we think it's, there's not a market here, there's not anything going. But you two have actually, I follow both of you, but watching what you're doing, it is definitely a market here. And you all are really doing your thing with it, and just really want to put that out there and encourage those who are looking to really get into the industry. The quality of work that you do is by far top notch. And let's talk a little bit, because I know that you are the creative director and makeup stylist, hair and makeup for the Strut Fashion Play. Tiara Crawford is my dear, dear heart. So proud of her, which I can't believe she was on the show before, and that she's celebrating 20 years is crazy to me, but it's
Mhm.
wild. But celebrating that and the impact that the fashion play Strut has had in this market, not just in Oklahoma, but in Dallas. And now you all are touring in other cities as well. How did that come about? I don't know how you take on all of this, Shaku,
Mhm.
but okay. How did that happen?
Well, with Tiara, I met her about 16 years ago. And I volunteered to be a hairstylist for a few of her shows back then. And I can remember, following her on social media. And I just thought it was a great thing that she was doing in the community, sharing, her calls at the time. And then all of a sudden, it just branched into sharing other people's causes, like if you have a heart for diabetes or you want to make people aware of what's, any type of disease, or we had some that done trafficking, human trafficking, just making people aware of what's going on in our communities and how we can help. But for me and her, we have like this really, we have a connection. And we sit down and talk, and she always says, "Girl, you just like bring peace in my life."
Mhm.
And so we do have a really nice connection with each other. And so I think I've been working with her for the last about 5 years now, being the
Wow.
hair and makeup director for the Strut Show. So when she asked me to do that for her, I was honored to do so. And so we started the travel, I think about 2 years ago. We started with the Tulsa, we went to Dallas, we went to Kansas. So yeah, the traveling has been a reward. It's been much, but it's been really nice working with her and all the models that comes through. It's been really good. And then I'm able to share my craft with, the students that comes in to actually work with the models with us with hair and makeup.
That is awesome. So out of that, I mean, and I know with your branding and as well, so aspiring models that come through the strip production involvement in the play, if they're then, or do you kind of recognize the talent that are wanting to pursue and continue on a path in the industry that you are able then to kind of then.
Yes, I'm definitely able. I've done so many from the Strut Fashion Show, brought them into the sponsorship program, and to
Okay.
where we did photos on them so they can have, to build their portfolio through that way. So once I do them at the Strut Show, I don't get to do everybody because I'm only one person.
Right,
I have
right.
so many be like, "Oh, I wanna sit in your chair," and I'd be like, "Babes, I can't do everybody, but I have a selected few that I could do." And then I also do the panel speaking as well for the show. Then I wanted to tie in that I appreciate you as well, Miss Tisdale, for allowing me to come to your fashion networking events as well and doing panel speaking as well at your shows. But yes, most definitely the models get to come into the sponsorship program and get their photos done with me. And finally,
Now, what are some of the things that are do you look for someone that aspiring? Are there certain qualities or technique that are important to you that would an inspiring model that would want to be a part of your sponsorship? What are some of the things that should be noted?
the main things that is noted is that just really we don't really have a size preference or a height preference. It's really based upon their spirit, really.
Okay.
Like, most of the time, you have certain people that that they have a drive for what they're actually trying to do. So for me, I look at their drive in the industry. Are you really trying to pursue modeling? So I'm really willing to help that person to pursue. Now, some of people that we do, they're not models, and so we're actually helping them pose and learn how to do fashion styling and stuff like that on set. But for the model themselves, I really when I'm looking for inspired models, I am looking for a certain look because most of the time we're doing a theme type of look. And so what I do is most of the time they submit in through email a picture, their weight, their size, and everything. And then I present it to my team, fashion stylist and William, and we'll pick and choose who we want to do because we only do 2 people per every 2 months now. We used to do it every month, but now we cut back to every 2 months. So we can only do two people. Most of the time I pick one and he'll pick one. And we
Okay.
agree on, who we're going to actually do.
Now, and after they go through your sponsorship, the photo shoot, and you're developing their look, is that the end of it, or do you follow kind of breaking them into the industry, or getting them connected with agencies, or?
Most of the time I will, refer them to Tiara, because she had her agency going, but I think she's cut back on that right now.
Okay.
But I would definitely send her over there is most of the time what I would do. And because, she has more links and more network than I do as far as that world is concerned.
Okay. What would you say are the biggest misconceptions for people about being a creative director in the beauty industry as a whole, but particularly in our market?
I would say a lot of people per se do say we don't have a lot going on in Tulsa or in Oklahoma. There is really a lot going on. You just have
Right.
to be linked up with the right people that's actually in the creative market. And I would say Jerica Wortham is definitely one of the ones that you have to link up with because she's in that creative space with
Right.
everyone from, from the comedians, from the poets, from the body paints. She does fashion shows within her events as well. So she's linked up with fashion designers. So she has a huge network that, you definitely need to link up with her for the creative side of the industry in the Tulsa area.
That's
I
good to
think
know. And thank you for saying that, because so often people are always asking, but I don't know where to go. I don't know how to connect. It's
Mhm.
see how to connect with people. So that information right there is really invaluable. Like, where do I even begin?
Right. The beginning is, reaching out to other photographers, trying to see if they want to do, like trade work to build that portfolio, because most of the time that's what we need to see is your portfolio when you want to get booked on for any type of photo shoots, fashion shows, hair shows. You have to present a photo shoot, like a portfolio. When you want to get booked for casting for movies or video shoots, you definitely have to have that portfolio. So building that portfolio is number one, having that networking, go to networking events. You can go to all types of networking events that's going on out here. And most of the time, the creatives are there. You just have to go out and find those networking events in town so you can link up with the right people.
Absolutely. Now, what would you say if you can say one, if there is just one, but what was the project or photo shoot that it- or a moment that you knew that it pushed your creativity to the next level?
And I've done
I know
so
you got a
many.
lot, so.
Right. I'm like,
There
I've done so many photo shoot
Was
things.
there any one particular that you knew gave you that aha moment that you knew I am in my element?
Well, I mean, I don't have one particular to say, oh, yeah, I'm in my element because I'm always in my element.
I love that.
Uh, because it's so embedded in me since I've been young to have that key eye for, looks and special moments. And because I've always had like a camera in my own hand when I was growing up. And even now, my friends call me paparazzi. So I always capture that I have that eye for photos in general. So I think every photo shoot that I've done has been like yes, yes. I always hype up my clients. They be like, oh my God, you make me feel so good. Because I be like, yes, I got that. Now, when I'm looking at the camera, when finally give me the camera and I be like, okay, I'm flipping through photos. And if I say yes, yes, they already know, oh, we got some good images.
And I love that, Shaku. And if you could share, because your spirit is very infectious and it's very authentic. And I love, love, love that about you. Always have.
Thank
But what I'm hearing and what I love most, and if I could bottle that up and sprinkle that over all of us, but where did, and it may be just born in you, but I love your confidence in who
Mhm.
you are, which is so important, and that how you own your space. And has that just always just naturally that's just been there? Or how can you help others who like, I need to have a little bit more of that? And not
Well,
be afraid, because so many times, we dim our own light, but I love that you stand in your light.
yeah, it's been difficult over the years because I like, I think everybody has those ups and downs with themselves. We criticize our own self throughout the years or whatever. But as a small kid, I knew I wanted to be a hairstylist. So I would say when I say small kid, I mean 8 years old. I knew I wanted to be a hairstylist. I knew I wanted to be a nurse at that time. So from there, I just started operating in it. I just started doing hair. I started and I wanted some allowance money. So that's how I became that hairstylist hustler at a young age, middle school, high school. But I always prayed to like fast forward to things. I always prayed, like, Lord, what is my gifts and talents? So everything that has played out in my life, far as the hair magazine, far as stepping out, working with other people, networking at hair shows. I used to be a shy girl when I was younger. And I didn't want to be shy. I wanted to step out. And so I just kept asking God, Lord, help me to be not shy. And the only reason how you cannot be shy no more is you got to step out and start being bold about speaking to people, talking to people. Even when you get that rejection, don't allow that rejection to sit in you. Go ahead and keep pushing yourself. I'm going to go talk to this person today. I'm going to reach out to this entrepreneur today. Or now I take it back from MySpace. When I created that magazine, God gave me that whole tool. God gave me that tool to actually reach out to other people. How I reached out to other people just from my house, because at the time I was a housewife and I had children. I used to use the internet and I would reach out to music artists from all over the world to do interviews on them. I would just present myself. This is who I am, and this is what I'm presenting, and this is what I would like for you to do. And then that's just how I started. And then I would get on the phone with them when they agreed. That was just me stepping out on faith, basically.
Right. I love that. And I love it, which is so important. One is it's taking the steps. One, recognizing your gift, which you certainly did, and you
Mhm.
knew where that gift came from. But most importantly, the movement that you put behind it. And I commend you for that. I really, really do. And your talents certainly, as I said, definitely speak before you. And I want to ask you, what's next for Chiku Williams? I mean, you have so much that you've already done, and I know it's just the beginning. So what can we look forward to happening in the future?
Well, for me right now, my next or my current and my next right now, what I'm really focusing on is continue doing what I'm doing with Strut, mentoring other children through the beauty industry. I just currently did a McLean Career Day, just sharing my craft with them, my experiences and everything with them. But I also I've been doing it for 2 years now, travel business owner with my oldest daughter, Vershay. So I incorporated that in my life. 2 years ago, I was like, what else do Shaku want to do? To enjoy life. I love
Right.
to travel with my family and friends. So I'm like, let me incorporate the travel industry business in my life because my latter days are going to be my greater days. And so I'm like, travel. I want to travel, enjoy the rest of my life. So I am a travel agent. My business name is Glam Life Travels by Shaku. And so I'm incorporating destination weddings.
Oh,
Destination weddings will be incorporated with Glam by Shaku, which I'm a hair and makeup artist as well. So that's what you're going to be looking for what's next with me. And also specializing in cruises. I do have an upcoming cruise coming on. My girlfriend, Keitra Cooper, which I work at Talking Heads Salon with her.
okay.
She asked me, "Hey, I'm turning 55. Can you put together my birthday trip?" And I was like, "Okay." So she told me a few destinations that she wanted to go to, and then I actually found a cruise that we can go on together in November. We always celebrate our birthday in November together, so that's what's coming up, and we're totally excited about that. So that's what's up and what's next. Also, I know I work at the airport at Delta. That's just something I do on the side as well. That's part-time. But yeah, so that's what's next. The whole celebrity clientele, moving around, doing that, and I still want to be involved with more movies and per se. But that's been kind of on the back burner for me, but because I just been focusing on local stuff. But I get back into that soon too.
And I'm clocking all the things you're doing. So in there, where is rest? How do you balance it all?
I get plenty of rest because I believe in beauty rest.
Okay. Okay.
I have my days that I'm off. I'm off on
Okay.
Sunday and Monday mainly. But,
Okay.
I do take those days and I do other things, but I get plenty of rest. I really do. I really believe in that. I do.
That
I'm not an early bird. I know they say early bird, touch the worm and all that. I'm not really, I mean, I believe that can be true, but I definitely don't like bags under my eyes.
what you're all about beauty. You are that.
Right. I can't be looking all so up and trying to
And
do
that's one
somebody's
thing
hair back up.
I love about you, Shaku. Now, you know how many times you often hear that stylists don't look like what they do, but I love the fact you always do. You're always on
Oh, thank
you,
you.
you know, hair, makeup, everything's slayed. Yes, ma'am, you do that. So you definitely are a walking billboard of what you produce, which I think is just fantastic. And it's been so much fun chatting with you and hearing all what's going on. And what I'm so excited about is the amount of activity that you have, but it also states the amount of activity and opportunities that we have here that oftentimes so many people think we don't. But what I hope everybody gets from you, there are no excuses and that you can absolutely create and have the life you desire, that you know that was purpose for you because you have been walking and doing this since you said since the age of 8.
Yes, ma'am.
That is on fire. We give all kind of claps for that. And I just applaud you for knowing who you are and not being afraid to show up and present it because you certainly are touching so many people. Absolutely have so many people here in Tulsa looking absolutely radiant. And I know I'm going to be scheduling with you real soon because my birthday's coming up and that's one of my just that I'm checking up. Like, no, I'm going to have that glam shoot for this birthday. So you're going to be hearing from me real soon. So I'm just putting that on your calendar because I know you will be full before I know it. So I'm going to have to be paying attention and not let that slip by. But I want to thank you for your time this afternoon, for squeezing us in and for sharing with everyone. Now, before we go, can those who would like to also have a glam moment, because I'm scheduling mine, I encourage everybody to get on the books and get theirs scheduled. How do we connect with you?
Basically, I have a website that you can book online, www.glambyshaku.com. That's the main way you can book me is on the website.
Okay. And again, that's www.glam.
Glammed by Chiku.
Okay.
GLMMEDBYCHIKU.com. And then, of course, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. It's all under the same name, basically.
Okay. Well, we will also have your information linked on our site. For those, if you didn't write it down, we will have it listed. And I encourage, if you've never had that moment, it's one you deserve it. You need to call and have it done because you will thank us later that you did. So we hope that you enjoyed today. Again, Chiku, I appreciate it. We're going to certainly be watching you and we'll want to have you back and continue to see how you are just shining all over the city and in other areas. And again, also if they travel information or if you have an upcoming wedding, because you can see she does it all, they can contact you for all services at your website, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, again, thank you so much. And we will be in touch with you soon.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Have a great one.
You too.
Okay. Ciao.